Well, Michael Ross is co-founder and director of ECommera. The company specializes in developing e-commerce sites for retailers. Joins me in the studio now. So let me then start by asking you how crucial Cyber Monday is to the retail industry.
I think Cyber Monday in of itself is not going to make or break any retailers, but I think it's sort of totemic of what's going on in the retail world. Online is part of the retail landscape, and if retailers aren't completely immersed in embracing online, they're going to face a very risky future.
And okay, so what about the big guys? Are they investing heavily in online right now? Are we already seeing evidence of that?
Yeah, all of the big players. I mean, the number of major retailers that aren't investing in online is now a very, very small number. The challenge is, are they investing in the right things?
Right.
And I think the key to understanding online is, you know, it's no longer location, location, location. You can't get good locations and succeed. It's customer, customer, customer.
Yeah.
We're in a battle for the customer now, and that requires retailers to think very, very differently about things they've taken for granted for the last 150 years.
Such as?
Well, such as, you know, in the store retail world, you find a store format that works, then you just roll it out in more locations. And that's been a very successful formula for retailers. In the new world, the granularity of understanding retail is the customer, and the granularity of taking action is the customer. So what it means is you have to reorient your business around individual customers and understand, where are they buying? Are they browsing online and buying offline, or browsing offline and buying online? It's a completely different skill set.
I mean, Michael, it's a remarkable challenge, isn't it? And I know that you have spoken about this sort of, you've gone as far as to describe it as a paradigm shift when it comes to retailers, because of course, what you're talking about is well, you know, you're used to having physical stores where the customer effectively comes to you. This is all about getting your products out and your brand out to the customer, but on an individual basis.
Yes, it is a complete paradigm shift, and I think we'll look back, if you look at, you know, the retailers that define the last generation, whether that's Walmart and Tesco, and Amazon clearly is one of the defining retailers of this generation. It goes about its business in a completely different way to most of the traditional retailers.
So I'm just curious then, what does this mean for, I mean, if we can expect online to increasingly be a big driver of growth for these companies, what is that going to mean for your traditional bricks and mortar stores?
So I think the traditional bricks and mortar stores, many of them have a great future. The power of bricks and mortar is that suddenly you're a small store that used to have a small catchment area, now you can sell products to the world. So for the retailers that have a proposition that resonates, this is fantastic news. If you are a retailer where all you're selling is other people's products and you've succeeded because you've been in a physical location, well, your future is not very rosy.
This is a remarkable advantage at a time where many companies, many businesses are going abroad to expand and really boost their exposure to emerging markets where the growth is believed to be. Everyone wants to get hold of that new consumer. They can effectively be present in that market without being there physically. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely correct. I mean, suddenly from, you know, one of my favourite examples is the cheese shop in Tetbury.
Cheese shop?
Thanks for the House of Cheese, which sells cheese to a global market. This is a small, local, very successful cheese shop, but suddenly it's able to export cheese around the world. And those, for me, are the great examples of how the internet, for those who've got a successful proposition, can really take advantage of a global market.
All right. What about, again, the challenges when it comes to taking advantage of the globalized market? Because we had a report by the Boston Consulting Group, and it showed that China's online retailing sector is currently worth some $74 billion a year, could increase to $314 billion by 2015. And so when we speak about many businesses being in the process of expanding abroad, can they understand the sort of specifications of the consumer? You know, can they make the differentiation between cultures, between countries, without actually physically being there? There must be challenges in that respect as well.
There are, and I think that the skill here is for retailers to think like brand owners. I mean, if one thinks of brands like Apple or Burberry, these are truly global brands with products that resonate around the world. And so the key then for a retailer is to think, well, how do they have to think about their proposition that resonates in different markets around the world? And, you know, 10 years ago when I launched figleaves.com, we were shipping to 77 markets. You can actually build very successful businesses with a limited understanding of consumers if you want to then build very, very big businesses.
But so then, as we've seen with Apple, it's just as popular with the Chinese consumer as it is with the American consumer. So
absolutely.
It's brand-driven mainly,
It's brand-driven. It's retailers reinventing themselves as brands.